from the Schmoes Know Network studios in Los Angeles, California. It's time for Marvel News from Marvel fans with your hosts, a veritable House of M, Meredith Blacko, Matt Cook, and Matt Key.
Yeah! Welcome to Marvel News from Marvel fans.
What's up, Schmoville?
This is where we break down all the Marvel movie news from all the studios and tell you why you should be as excited as we are. We are broadcasting live from the Danger Room. There he is. Guys, visit us on Facebook, Marvel News from Marvel fans. Hit like. Also, we're on Twitter at Marvel Schmoes. We've got
Meredith at M. Placco.
Matt Key at the Matt Key.
And Matt Cook at Matt Cook Tweeted. Check us out at youtube.com/schmoesknowpodcast. And please, you guys, do not forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Gotta do that.
It keeps us coming back to the Danger Room each and every week. And we like it here.
We like the Danger Room. We also like Jatarvis, who's on the boards today.
Yeah.
Say hi, Jatarvis.
What up?
Hey, man.
Have you had a good week, Jatarvis?
Yeah, I got a gummy burger from Matt Cook. I'm
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Happy Halloween.
Yeah, I
now
hope you guys had a good time.
Now we're moving into Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
My favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving is?
Yeah, dude, it's all about food. And I love, if there's one thing I love more than Marvel Comics, it's food.
So it would go Marvel Comics Food Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you said more than Marvel Comics. It's
Oh.
food
yeah,
Marvel
yeah,
Comics.
it's
Marvel
true.
Boyfriend.
Yeah, it is Food Marvel Boyfriend.
Wow.
Actually, it's
all right, so we're going to have a
technically-
spot opening up on the show. Send your resumes in.
Though technically, it's actually Food Cats Marvel
Oh, yeah, then you're
Boyfriend.
done. You're out. Jatarvis, shut her mic off and turn the lights out on that side of the studio,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, it's her one line.
It's going to be in dark the entire time. Turn off the lights.
Just like Spider-Man on Broadway.
Too soon.
Too soon? Did that hurt everybody? I'm sorry, everybody
It's
who
all right.
loved that show.
Let's get into it.
Things
Yeah.
happen this week.
What do we got?
A few things happened this week. So first of all,
Wait, should we just wait like 2 minutes for a story to break?
I know.
Like, should we just wait? Like, everybody just get on, like, just refresh, like, any geek site you're on.
refresh-
yeah,
and let's
refresh.
see what we're currently missing.
yeah, because it's all
so it's
going to
gonna
hit.
be something.
It'll hit right now as we're recording.
Yeah.
Speaking about that, we are looking to maybe move our recording time.
Maybe.
So-
Or maybe we should
Yeah.
keep it in early in the week because Marvel likes to put stuff out right after we talk about
That
the
is
stuff
true.
they put out.
Yeah,
so
maybe
it's us that
maybe
are doing
we
this.
are a good luck charm for the rest of the world.
Let's head over to Fox.
Yeah, so first of all, we will be talking about the Marvel event that was last week, talking about the slate and everything else. But since we want to talk more about that, we're going to start with the slower news, or
yeah.
the little bittier news.
Because we've got a lot to talk about with Marvel. So over the weekend, Matt Key and I always get you two confused.
Well, we're both named Matt.
I
We're
know.
both very handsome.
It's
so.
true, and you both have beautiful voices. So, yeah. Well, Matt Key and I made it out to Kamikaze, which is a really awesome event here in Los Angeles.
In the Los Angeles.
It was downtown. It was a 3-day comic book convention put out by Stan Lee's company. Lots of fun.
I think Hot Topic also.
Sponsored, yeah.
Have sponsored it.
Also, yeah, lots of. Actually, before we get into news, I just want to talk about how fun it was because outside of San Diego Comic Con, this was my first West Coast convention.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
I've been doing the
Welcome
East
to
Coast
it,
Midwest
yeah.
things for a decade plus now, and it was a lot of fun. Lots of great fans. Saturday had so many cosplayers.
Yeah, great cosplay out there.
Really
yeah.
great. And there was a lot of really great vendors.
And we met some Schmoville. Met some people from Schmoville. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was getting coffee, and the barista was a fan of Schmoville, which was super awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I know. He's like, wait, you're with the Schmoes? I'm like, I'm with the Marvel side. He's like, no, I love you guys. I'm like, thanks, man.
Baristas of the world unite!
Yes, and it was really good coffee. Also, it was not Starbucks.
Would
so
you say
marvelous.
that the coffee was seamless?
It was seamless. It was marvelous, if
Was it
you
mar-
would.
marvelous?
It was marvelous
Wow.
coffee.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Also,
Turn
one
her
of-
lights off.
One of the things I absolutely loved too was the vendors, because if you go to enough of these shows, you tend to see a lot of the same stuff over and over. And there were so many great like t-shirt dealers, artists. Rob Liefeld was there. I mean, come on, who doesn't love Rob Liefeld?
Well, speaking of...
I mean, I actually run the official Rob Liefeld fan group on Facebook, but we'll get into that another time. But he was on stage at Kamikaze on Saturday, and he actually confirmed that Ryan Reynolds is going to be Deadpool, which we pretty much know. And he also says that Cable is coming.
Maybe not making an appearance in Deadpool.
Not making an appearance, no.
But that,
one of the things
the
that Rob,
Donners, right?
yeah.
The Donners are producing the Deadpool, and they said Cable's definitely
Yeah,
coming.
one of the things that Rob Feld fought for was they wanted to do the original script for Deadpool called for a Deadpool versus Cable film. And Rob Liefeld was like, no, Deadpool needs to be on his own. Deadpool can do a standalone film. You don't need to bring someone like Cable in to back him up. And ideally what he wants to see is a Cable film, like Cable-centric film all on its own. So while that's not confirmed, it's interesting to see how much of Liefeld claims, anyways, that he has had input. Because if you're familiar with the comic book world, Rob Liefeld is a very loud, boisterous figure who has worked in comics since the 90s, and he's responsible for a lot of the characters, like the way they look that we know them today, with lots of pouches and rocks covering
lots
their feet.
Lots of pockets, loves pockets, and never draws feet.
No, he draws rocks for feet.
Yep.
In fact, I would like to, for the next comic book convention, go as Rob Liefeld characters. I actually just want to go as pouches.
Just all pouches,
Just
and no feet.
No feet.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's funny. You should do that.
I will. You guys.
No
should
one's ever
join
done
me.
that. I want to see that.
I know, it'd be fun. But yeah, so I'm really excited because in my love of comics, I actually really do love Cable. I think he's such a fascinating character, and I would love to see him on the big screen.
Cable #1 was the first comic book I ever owned.
I did not know that.
Yep.
I think you're the
That
person.
and Infinity War. Those are the first comics I ever bought.
That's awesome. Well, we'll talk more about it.
Way back in
later.
1992.
Babby.
Nice.
And then next up, we've got the Gambit movie. Deadline is reporting that RoboCop
Yeah!
RoboCop screenwriter Josh Zedmer is writing the Gambit script based off a treatment by, hold on, I don't know if you know this one yet, but the Gambit script is actually going to be based on a treatment
I know
from
it all.
Chris Claremont.
I know that.
Oh, okay.
Claremont's one of my favorites.
Yes. And
He's also like one of your best friends, right? You and
Yeah.
Claremont. Like you get.
We go for drinks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hang out out at Lake Tahoe all the time.
Yeah, I go
drink
to his
champagne.
cabin and stuff. We talk, and I give him ideas.
Half the stuff he's written, like Amazing X-Men, which he's currently writing, like half that came out of your brain, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
I really wish the iTunes subscribers could see that my eyes just rolled out.
Oh, they can hear it.
They could hear your
It's
eyes
very,
roll so
very
far
clear.
back that they fell onto the table.
That's awesome. I love that Claremont's involved with that. It gives me a little bit of hope for that. I like Channing Tatum a lot. I have no problem. He doesn't necessarily look like Gambit to me. I always thought Gambit was a little wiry, a little lanky.
Well, maybe he'll bulk down. Maybe he'll reverse bulk.
Maybe,
You know?
but I like him. I think
Yeah.
he's charming, and I think that's an essential quality.
yeah.
And with Claremont on board, I think there's a really cool.
If I
it gives
remember
it a good
correctly,
shot.
doesn't Gambit? He actually has like minor hypnotic powers, right? Where he like.
I think sometimes,
Yeah.
I think he can like. He has like a minor mind control, like, oh, you love me,
Like
and everyone's
charm,
like, oh,
yeah.
I love you.
I think
Yeah.
it's just being Cajun. I actually don't think that's a mutant power. I think that's just
Right.
byproduct of being Cajun.
So every single time you run across a Cajun,
I'm just saying, New Orleans holds a special place in my heart.
wow, okay. You hear all of that, New Orleans listeners?
All of New Orleans. And well, it's cool also with Tatum not only playing Gambit, he did say that he's going to be co-producing the film as well. So
With the Donner
and Free
Company or something?
Association.
Yeah.
And we might get to see him appear in Apocalypse.
And Cable is rumored to maybe be making
Yeah.
an appearance in Apocalypse.
Great,
All rumors, though, everyone.
All
Nothing's
rumors.
confirmed.
which is shocking.
Yeah.
We're so sorry to bring you rumors. It's our first time ever, but
I know.
we
No
had
speculation here.
Sorry, guys.
All right, well,
to do it. Sony.
there's really nothing out from Sony.
All right, next TV.
But Andrew Garfield, this just happened, right?
Yeah, this did just happen. So MTV interviewed Andrew
You're just
Garfield.
so excited to get to the Marvel
know.
stuff.
Yeah, let's go. What are we doing?
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
it kind of ties into Marvel. So everyone
Ish, a
at
little
so on Tuesday when their big Marvel event,
Hear
all this
my
news
eyes
came
roll.
out. A lot of people were asking, what was the Sony news? Where's the Spider-Man news? Well, there was no Spider-Man news at the Marvel event because, surprise, surprise, Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man, and there has been nothing said whatsoever that Spider-Man will be joining the MCU. In fact, MTV, there was a Marvel Q&A online, and Joss Whedon was like, no, we don't have this, we're not confirming this. And then MTV went one step further to interview Andrew Garfield, and Garfield's like, no one's contacted me about this. I don't know what you're talking about. So guys, we want it. Of course we want it. It'd be super cool to have Spider-Man swing into, Civil War, but it's not confirmed, and I think there's so much happening right now that we should focus on what is happening for sure, because otherwise we're just going to get lost in speculation. And miss out on
it's all
the
going to be
news.
speculation, and honestly, it doesn't seem like Sony's budging anytime soon. Even though I do think it would be in their best interests to do so, because I mean, then they would have like the gravitas of the Avengers behind their character.
They can't. And Sony keeps changing what's going on. They can't confirm if they're going to have a Venom film. They can't stick to the Sinister Six thing.
Well, the latest news. I'm sorry, you just want to get to the slate.
No, I'm happy to talk about Spider-Man. I mean, I just don't know.
It's all speculation.
It's all
remember, right now,
speculation, and it's all legal, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know why Sony would give up the rights to movies that even when they're bad make tons of money.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what Marvel could possibly offer to, like, get what they want and what we want, and why would Marvel feel the need to, like, well, here, let us give you some of our money so that we can add one more character into this thing that we're already doing really well without you.
We're already like
There's
at the very,
no
very
incentive
top.
for either side to do anything about it.
Yeah, I agree.
It just reminds me of the what if DC Marvel team ups from the 80s. That's all I keep thinking about. It's like, what if Sony and Marvel teamed up? It's like
That would be cool to
it
see a
would
studio
be.
studio participation at that level. But
and it would be unprecedented. I mean,
Yeah.
it would really set the stage for future films. But at
And
the
then
same
maybe
time,
Marvel and Fox would team up. That would never happen, everybody. That's why we're laughing.
It's crazy.
It
Yeah.
is.
Anyway, so that's
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
that's
Yeah.
sorry,
Spider-Man,
guys.
no news.
Yeah, sorry,
So-
there was no news. So.
Yeah.
But TV news.
Yeah, TV. So DNA Info is reporting that the upcoming Daredevil series, it's been filming in Williamsburg and Greenpoint under the code name of Bluff.
Bluff.
So if you are out in the New York area, you can see that. And local bar Turkey's Nest Tavern has been transformed into Josie's Hell's Kitchen. It's now sports a neon flag and neon sign and some Irish flags. And it's the setting for all the criminals' kind of hideout base of operations. So if you're in New York and want to go, grab some photos,
Take some pictures for us.
Yeah.
Go hang out in Turkey's Nest Tavern, which
Mm-hmm.
sounds great. You know what's weird? I've never thought about turkeys nesting, but they are birds, so they would have
Yeah.
nests.
Oh,
They do.
man. What are we doing?
I don't know. I've just
Let's move
I've,
this
I've never
along.
thought about that. That's
Yeah.
kind of an interesting
It's amazing.
point.
All right. So now that we've kind of got all that out of the way, and Fox and TV, it's wonderful. Let's get to the real news of the week. And first off, let me say, fans, thank you guys, everyone, for who tweeted at us and messaged us. And we tried our best to bring updates as we could, but just with filming schedules, we couldn't come in and cut a special Marvel show post Marvel announcement. But we are here to basically just spend the next 45 minutes talking about Marvel Studios, because there's so much to even
It's
so
great.
much ground to
But
cover.
that is it's another good reason to check us out on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, because anything we get, we throw on there as fast as we can. And there's there's the three of us and then a bunch of other people here at the studio that are always keeping their eyes out for all this news. So if you miss something, it's most likely that we didn't, and we'll get it to you as fast as we can.
And if you haven't liked us on Facebook or following us on Twitter, go do that, because we're trying to get like a bigger community and more people talking about the stuff
and more people saying, "Wait, you guys missed this awesome thing."
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
We all celebrate the awesomeness together.
Yeah, we all text
Exactly.
one another like, "Oh my God, we missed that,"
Yep.
and this
Yeah.
guy corrected us. So
It's good.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But go join Facebook.
and make sure
Go
you follow
join
it.
Facebook.
Go join.
Yeah,
Some people have
join.
not joined Facebook.
Yeah, my mom. That's it. And she just uses my brother's account, so she kind of has.
She kind of is on
Kinda
Facebook.
weird. All right. Well, if you
Marvel slate.
I know if you haven't seen it, on Tuesday, Marvel announced in a huge televised online and here in LA, they did a huge event where they announced their slate up until 2019. And it was okay. So going there was really just kind of cool, because it was mainly press and a small section for fans. So it was mostly press and some fans, and we were happened to actually be in the fan section, which I thought was really fun, because we were the ones who were like hooting and hollering and cheering,
Yeah.
where all of our press brothers were like sitting there super serious.
On
Gotta
their
get this,
computers.
gotta get this news out now. And it was an amazing event to be at. Marvel really knows how to one up certain other companies,
Studios,
when putting out news. And I think, well, there were some things that I know people wish had been announced. I have to say, I'm really happy. I am.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited to be a Marvel fan right now, because I'm getting almost everything and more. I'm getting things I didn't know I wanted until
Yeah.
they told me you're getting this.
Yeah, last Tuesday was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was. I felt sick from how much fun it was. Like, it was like I ate too much candy.
Yeah.
That's what last Tuesday felt like all day long. Like, it was a weird high all day.
No, we'll just go through real quick what's coming out, and then we'll go back and break down what we know.
Yeah.
So we know May 1st, 2015, we're getting Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Then July 17th of 2015, we'll finally get Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
May 6th of 2016 is when we're going to get Captain America 3.
Civil War,
which
Yeah.
has been confirmed. November 4th, 2016 is Doctor Strange. Then we're going to jump over to May 5th, 2017, where they've pushed up Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because you guys love the film so much. They're like, let's give it to the fans quicker. July 28th, we're getting the third Thor film, which is now subtitled Ragnarok.
which more on that, but I think that's
Yeah.
maybe some of the most exciting news.
I'm pretty
out of the
stoked,
event,
yeah. Then they had a really awesome announcement in November 3rd, 2017. We are getting Black Panther.
High fives all around.
Yes. May 4th, 2018, Avengers 3 Infinity War Part 1.
That is just mind-boggling.
I know. July 6th, 2018, Captain Marvel. And yes, that is Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, no one else but our wonderful blonde lady. And then May 3rd, 2019, we're getting Avengers 3 Infinity War
and
Part
November
2. Oh, and I
2nd.
skipped November 2nd, 2018, Inhumans.
Which is the craziest of all.
That is
Yeah.
insane.
That's insane.
And I am excited.
I am super excited.
I'm super stoked for that.
Me too. All right.
And,
Take it back
then
to the
Avengers
top?
3,
Yeah, so we're gonna start
all the way back.
Yeah, so there's been a lot. We got the trailer out. We've seen quite a few scenes now at this
Yeah.
point from Age of Ultron, and it's pretty exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like this film is going to set the stage for what is going to completely change the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it.
Yeah.
We know.
I think
yeah.
Civil War, like I've said before, I think Civil War starts in Age of Ultron and
I
everything.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You had some really great insight as to why you think Civil War is going to start in Age of Ultron, based on what
what we were
we've seen.
talking about earlier. So I don't know if you were on the Facebook page, but we posted some fan footage of one of the scenes that they shot where it's Captain America and Iron Man chopping logs. Right? Did you
Yeah,
watch
I've seen
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I've seen a couple different versions of it
Oh, great.
from different angles.
That's
So
awesome.
I've seen the entire clip now.
But they say, what did the Maximoff child show you?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and Feige before that said that that is halfway through the film. So my guess is that at the beginning of the film, we see a bunch of dream sequences that Scarlet Witch gives to the team.
Yeah.
And then based on that, they break off and go try, like Tony, I think, is like fighting a preemptive war, and Captain America is just trying to defend the world, more
Yeah.
or less. And I think that's a big part of it. So I think she gives, like, the broken shield, I think that's a dream sequence. I don't think that actually
Whoa.
happens.
Yeah, it's almost like her illusions are going to be what
Well,
tears
Tony
kind of
things
like,
says
apart.
at
like
one part-
House of M.
At one
Yeah.
part, Tony Stark says she ripped us apart.
Yeah.
And everybody, it seems like almost everybody, or it seems like nobody came through unscathed, except
Yeah.
for maybe you. And he's kind of
Yeah.
mad that Cap is dealing with whatever he saw as well as he is.
Yeah.
And Cap's like, you don't know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And there's that weird thing of like, she got into their heads and did some damage.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't think it's like a simple, like, dream sequence makes it sound like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
no,
like
it's like
but it was
Yeah,
an attack.
it's
Yeah.
like, well, she altered their reality, I think, for for a second.
Well,
you know?
and what's interesting, it almost reminds me of what's going on in current run in comics when they just ended up with the Watcher. I'm not gonna say
Uatu?
yeah Uatu, but all the Earth's mightiest heroes and then some had to face their worst fears.
Yeah.
And it almost is like they're kind of bringing a bit of that nod into the films, making Scarlet Witch play that role of the Eye, making these characters have to see the things that they fear the most within themselves and confront ugly truths about
and
themselves.
confronting those ugly truths and fears,
Yeah.
this team splinters.
Yeah, which I'm really excited. And even Mark Ruffalo in an interview with Marvel.com, saying of the new characters, he's like, I love the new kids on the block. I love Wanda. She's able to bring out the worst in us.
Oh, I think that was so well said. I think he so planned that out.
Yeah.
To
great.
give it away and not give it away all at the same time.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what's going on. I think she's giving them like illusions or altering their reality for a little bit, and then they all like kind of woke up. Like even the ballerina scene, that could have very well been.
Well, a flashback to Black Widow's past, which
yeah.
I know we're getting her past. We're
Yeah.
getting hints of Black Widow, what Natasha went through to become what she is. Because they keep hinting at it in the films, like, oh, I gotta erase the red. I gotta get in the black. I gotta
Yeah.
make up for all the terrible things I did. But we don't know what those terrible things are. So I think we're gonna finally start to see exactly, her history with, be it Russia or Hydra or however they're going to play it out in the films.
The KGB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also it's now been confirmed that Claudia Kim is confirmed to be the mysterious girl in that SHIELD scene.
But we still don't know
Avengers Tower.
Who she's playing. We just know it is Claudia Kim.
I'm going to say I think it's Susie Indo, the Cybermancer. That's what I'm going to say.
All right. I love that. Good for you.
And Newsarama, I believe, is reporting that they're speculating that it's Monica Chang, I believe is her name, from Avengers AI. If you can read
no way.
No way.
No way.
Back off, Newsarama.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Susie Indo.
That'd be interesting.
Excited to find out.
Yeah. Also, guys, Idris Elba dropped a little hint in an interview with The Telegraph this week that he is reprising his role as Asgard's Heimdall in Avengers 2, and he also talked about doing a scene with Tom Hiddleston. So we know Loki's gonna make an appearance. It's probably gonna be again in like a flashbacky, dream sequency illusion.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe not, because in that scene, Thor's gone. Remember, Thor's left. I think he actually goes back to Asgard to be like,
What's going on? What do you know about
Odin?
this?
Yo, Odin, what do I do about this?
And it's not. It's
Yoden.
He goes back to Asgard in the 90s, and he's got some
He's got his backward cap
But
on.
it's not Odin though.
He like skates in.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Odin?
Wait, isn't Odin actually Loki though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not.
Well, but he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that. I'm excited.
He doesn't know that.
I feel Heimdall would. The all scene. He should know. Heimdall
Loki's
should
got
know.
ways around him. It's been established.
Loki.
I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Ant-Man. I'm cruising.
You are
I had
ready.
a bag of candy.
You are
to
ready.
Drive up here.
Well, it was Halloween. Yeah, Ant-Man. So, first of all, Haley Atwell has been cast in the film, which I think is kind of exciting. And okay, so here's what I think is. Sorry, I'm excited about.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, oh my
You
God.
gotta be excited.
I'm excited.
You gotta be excited.
So, going back to Age of Ultron for just a half second, the synopsis always says when Tony Stark tries to jumpstart a dormant peacekeeping program, things go awry, or the mightiest hero, blah blah blah. So, I think that obviously Tony Stark doesn't create Ultron; he jumpstarts it. I think actually Henry Pym started it, and I think we get to see part of that in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I really think that SHIELD goes to him and says,
we talked about that a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
When they confirmed all sort like that. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Because Michael Douglas is Hank Pym.
Yeah.
And he's old.
But we know we see the suit. We know we see the old suit. They've
Yeah.
said that. So I think
I really think that Ultron, I think Henry Pym, along with SHIELD and Howard Stark, created Ultron, and then they're like, we
gotta shut this thing down.
This is a mess.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of seamless.
Yes.
And we're stopping this.
Yeah.
And then I think Tony Stark and his hubris is like, well, I can fix this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh wait, I didn't? Darn.
Yeah.
Well, there goes the world. Sorry.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think that's not going to be a big part of Ant-Man, but I do think that with Civil War coming right after that, I think that those two films will kind of play back and forth to some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she's in this.
No, I agree, and I think it's gonna be really awesome because they're really pushing Peggy Carter. They are so excited
about Peggy Carter, which I think is great because she was so awesome and yet underused in the first
and I feel
Captain
like
America film.
that Captain America film was so good for what it was because it was a period piece.
Yeah.
And you didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, I think
it was fun.
I really
it was
didn't
fun.
like it.
It was
It
fun.
made me really excited for the Avengers, but I don't think that I didn't like it.
I loved it.
And all those people are great and charming and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think there were a lot of kind of big points that were mishandled.
Well, I think
Jatarvis, do you have something you want to say? You're waving
I
at
actually
us.
got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, ask
first.
Jatarvis coming in.
The Agent Carter, it is a special 8-episode event, is what I
Yeah.
saw in a commercial. So it's not like a series like Agents.
No.
of
it's a
S.H.I.E.L.D.
mini series.
It's a mini series.
it's a
Yeah.
miniseries.
So when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes on hiatus for like 2 months, they're going to throw in Agent Carter to take its place.
Oh, okay.
So for all of us Marvel dorks last year who were like, oh my God, I don't have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to watch every week. Now we're going to have Agent Carter. And I do think they'll probably touch on some of this.
Yeah, I feel it's really going to
universe
tie
stuff.
into what, because Marvel's been really good now about tying in all their different properties. The only one they didn't really touch Daredevil. Daredevil seems to be its own little Netflix thing out in its own.
But they've never
world.
denied that
But
they may pull him
no.
in some way.
Yeah,
so.
but right now he doesn't really need to.
Yeah.
But I think the Peggy Carter stuff is going to wrap up some things that we're going to see mid-season Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think it's really going to bring in some things that we're going to want to see to help flush out Ultron.
Yeah. Agreed. And what could be really fun is if the mid-season thing works really well, then we'll probably see more stuff like that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, and hopefully that will pull a lot more listeners in
I like the idea of doing the mini-series. I feel it's not as consuming as a TV show because I know Marvel's had a hard time finding their footing with it, and I really feel that, you know, this might be a good way to bring moviegoers on, you know, to watch the television and vice versa. I think it's a really smart marketing move on their part. But back to Ant-Man.
Hey, Jatarvis, next time you have a question, just play the X-Men theme song. That's your entrance into asking us.
To get that as much
I
as
want you to ask 30 questions every show now.
Next time you agree or disagree with anything, play that X-Men sting.
Yeah.
And if at any point you like blink, play that X-Men theme.
By the way, everyone at home, do yourself a giant favor and look up the old X-Men cartoon, Banshee Screaming. It is one of the funniest clips you will ever watch, because this poor voice actor who they had playing Sean Cassidy, Banshee, they were like, okay, and now your power of flight comes from you screaming. So this poor actor is just like, ah! It's the worst.
Man.
Look it up. It's super funny. Someone post it on our Facebook page. We'll find it and we'll post it. It's too good. It's too good. Sorry to distract.
No, it's fine.
Back to Ant-Man.
We don't, you know, it's funny. We still don't know a lot about Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Despite it's like the next big film to come out after Ultron, which is fine. I think we're probably going to get a trailer soon.
I think so.
From what the rumors I've been hearing. So it'd be nice. But what we will see for those of us that read the comics is that the comic book tie-ins for Ant-Man are going to start popping up next year. So
great.
Curious to see how they do that. And then in May 6th of 2016, we head on over to Captain America 3, which at first they were like, Serpent Society, was they teased the stinger.
That was funny. Like,
great.
You felt the whole audience go,
Okay.
All right.
That's awesome.
So, sure. We'll watch. Yeah. All right.
No.
Hydra. Yeah. Okay.
My favorite thing was reading tweets from fellow journalists like, oh man, I'm so excited. Serpent Society is my favorite arc. And I'm like,
is it?
Really? Wow.
Is it?
Man, did you really like how Madame Hydra came in and took Wolverine over in Serpent Society? Like,
that was really good.
You know, that time with Thor used Cap's shield? It was so perfect. I loved it. It was my favorite part of it.
Yeah,
and then,
it's good.
Yeah, and
thanks.
then Riddler came in and saved everyone. It's like...
Riddler?
Yeah. I mean, that was the best part about the Serpent Society arc.
I didn't remember Riddler being in it.
It was a crossover. I mean, it was a short two issues. But yeah, I had some fun on Twitter that day with fellow journalists.
So, but it is official that it is Civil War.
It is.
The biggest thing that everyone is saying is that how can you have Civil War? They don't have secret identities, and the Civil War was fought over secret identities. So here's what Feige had to say about that. This is his quote. The generalities of the Registration Act are the same, being from the comics. Something happens, perhaps it's cumulative of things that have happened in all the movies up to this point, that has made the governments of the world say, we need some oversight of these guys. So it's not so much about the secret identity thing as much as it's about who reports to whom.
And that makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Given the mass destruction that superheroes cause just by the byproduct of fighting supervillains and aliens and mythical creatures, there is a need for some sort of oversight. And then with S.H.I.E.L.D. gone, who are they going to report to?
Yeah.
Tony Stark, perhaps?
Yeah. I think that's what's going on is that, like, Stark is funding the Avengers and they've become kind of like this weird, like, militia or, like, superpowered militia that just goes off and helps keep peace around the world, almost like this peacekeeping vigilante group. But they also cause like $1 billion in destruction everywhere they go because that's just the nature of the fight, Yeah. So, and I don't think they're going to have like a Stamford sort of thing like what they did in Civil War.
Yeah, I think
it will, like he said, it'll be cumulative.
Honestly, so. I think what the Stamford event is going to be whatever happens at the end Age of Ultron. I think whatever mass destruction that is the byproduct of fighting Ultron and all the sub-Ultrons is going to be what makes these world governments come together and say, we need to do something. We need checks and balances for these superheroes.
I would agree with that. So yeah, it's not a secret identity thing. Yeah. It's a war of ideologies on who should report to who. And Tony Stark is saying, well, we should all report to the government and be owned by the government and be sent out by the government and under their purview and control. And Captain America is saying no, because then any government could misuse us and send us to fight, their wars, and that's not what we want.
I get it. I don't know. I don't care.
You don't?
Oh,
you just
sweet,
don't
sweet
care?
boy.
Get out of here. No, I don't. I don't think. I don't know. I'm excited about it. It'll be great. But
You just don't care about hero on hero violence.
No, I just don't care about it. I just don't
Yeah.
buy it. I don't.
You just want to see Captain America punching Crossbones.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be great. And he's still alive. He'll probably be in Civil War somewhere.
And they're still going to have to address the Bucky issue. I mean, they left Bucky very open-ended, and with his memories returning, it's not a storyline you can easily ignore. At least I would like them not to. I really
well,
I love
and
Bucky.
he's signed on for how many movies? Like they own him. He could be in Thor and like Guardians.
Well, and
I
think knowing that this is going to, knowing that Age of Ultron specifically is going to change the landscape, and especially Infinity War, it's going to change the landscape of the MCU's heroes. I think we might see Bucky step into the role that he did post Civil War in the comics.
Yeah.
Which it's like, I'm so weird. I don't want to spoil it, even though it happened like 5-6 years ago. I don't want to say it, but there's, for those of that, you can look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, but Bucky takes on a pretty big mantle, and it's a really interesting story, and I would actually like to see them do that in the films, because I think it would change the dynamic of how the superheroes are viewed, because he's a lot more
well, also
aggressive.
with Civil War, this is exciting. They announced last week at the event that Black Panther is definitely a big part of Civil War, and we will see him for the first time in Civil War in costume. It's not.
great.
It's not just going to be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm T'Challa." It's going to be like, "Oh, hey, I'm the Black Panther. Back off."
I can't wait to see that costume.
I cannot. Well, have you seen the print that the concept art that they released? for it?
Yeah.
I think so.
That is some sweet Wakandan technology,
is
man.
really
That is
awesome.
Wakandan Kevlar at its best.
Yeah.
Well, and one
Oh
of
my
the great
gosh.
things at the event is they brought out Chadwick Boseman, who is Black Panther, and they actually had a little fight.
And that was such a great surprise. Like, no one was expecting that. It was
We all
great.
thought it was going to be Doctor Strange casting.
Master Cumberbatch.
But no, it was Chadwick, and they had RDJ and Chris Evans came out, and they kind of staged a little fight scene. And one of the things that I feel, for all the people who want Spider-Man, I'm sorry, they started asking Chadwick, "Oh, what side are you going to be on? Who do you side with?" As if they were almost pitting the young Black Panther.
That is interesting. Yeah.
in the Spider-Man role.
I hadn't thought about that. That's
so
great.
I feel like that was a nice little nod for those of, maybe, again, I could be reading way too much into it, but it was interesting how they played that out.
Huh? No, that is really cool. That could actually be the case. And each one is going to have to present their case to, oh, here's why Wakanda should side with us. Here's why, because they've got all the vibranium. We'll probably learn that in Age of Ultron. In fact, Feige even said there's going to be Easter eggs coming more and more and more. And that, in fact, an Easter egg about Wakanda and Black Panther was in Age of Ultron, which is, other than like maybe some location shots, I mean, that's Ulysses Claw,
Yeah. I feel like what's gonna happen is T'Chaka will appear in Age of Ultron and he'll die, and then we will somehow see the ascension of T'Challa to Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, I agree. Jatarvis, do you have something?
Quick question, you guys.
Play the X-Men song. Oh, Jatarvis, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and ask.
Quick question: doesn't Spider-Man have a large role in the Civil War storyline?
He does, but what Meredith is suggesting is that they'll take Spider-Man out and replace him with Black Panther.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to work?
Oh yeah, the Spider-Man is a character.
Careful.
Sweetheart, it's okay. I'm not going to make fun of him. I'm simply saying that Spider-Man played more of a story role than like his character was super necessary. Like Spider-Man was not as necessary as much as that particular role was necessary.
And since he hasn't been established in the MCU, they can take that role and replace it with someone else.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Spider-Man is irreplaceable.
Yes.
But the role in Civil War is.
For sure. I think that's a great call.
Yeah. And I do think that's really cool, So, and if it's not about secret identities and it's all about governments and who do you report to and everything, then it makes sense for Wakanda
and
too.
that also makes more sense for the average moviegoer to keep it, balanced and realism.
So yeah, I think we'll start seeing like some Wakanda stuff in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
We'll probably actually meet T'Chaka, and then we'll meet T'Challa.
I wouldn't be
Civil
surprised we
War
wouldn't see
3.
some Wakanda stuff in S.H.I.E.L.D., to be honest.
Oh,
especially since now that we know they're doing an Inhumans film, they're definitely going to start alluding to that.
Yeah, of course. Well, and then we've got a little movie coming up. Probably not a big deal, called Doctor Strange. No one's ever heard of it. No one cares. So let's just go ahead and move on.
Great.
All right, cool. So yeah, in May of 2017. No.
On our pie chart of topics, Doctor Strange is far too large.
I know. I know.
I'm sorry, 1/3 of the hosting team
That's true.
doesn't
That's all
almost
he talks
like
about.
almost doesn't care about anything else.
I get it.
So this is my favorite thing about my Sorcerer Supreme colleague right here. So director Scott Derrickson today teased a cover to the trade Into Shambhala, which is apparently a really awesome Doctor Strange story that I've never read, that, hey, maybe that's what they're going to use as the basis of the Doctor Strange movie. Hey, Matt Key, why don't you tell us all about Into Shambhala?
I've never read it.
Then what are we doing?
I can't get my hands on it. I can't find it in any comic book shop, and I haven't had the money to buy it. And it's not on Marvel Unlimited. I can't find it for free online anywhere.
I know. Jatarvis is shaking his head, judging
Oh, come on.
you.
Oh, come on. I've read almost every other thing out there with Doctor Strange in it. I've read his Shuma Gorath epic. I don't get a free pass on Into Shambhala.
You dressed up as Doctor Strange last week. So no.
I haven't read everything. I've read like 4/5 of it.
You've at least read the Wikipedia article
Yes,
on it.
I know roughly what it's about. He goes to find the Ancient One. He discovers that the Ancient One's not there. He's left like a little box or a book behind, and he reads it and discovers that he has to go into all these parallel dimensions and all around the world because the Lords of Shambhala have offered to make... you just can't get over it. Have you read every Spider-Man story? Every one. Every single one. Okay, well, I will just walk off the set after I give this little spiel about...
So now we have dimmed the light on the center
Yeah,
host.
it's just me, guys.
Cook is the last one. So, okay. So, into Shambhala, he has to go around the world, and he's trying to do this thing for the Lords of Shambhala. And then he discovers that maybe they actually don't have the best interests of humanity and at the center of what they want. So, what it turns out is they're offering him, like, hey, we'll give you a new golden age of humanity if you'll help us do this. But what they want him to do is to wipe out 3/4 of humanity. So, it's like, well, if I kill everyone, can we actually have a new golden age? No, we can't. So, that's what's going on.
Sounds great.
But it's interesting to see how they
beautiful.
would tie into the rest of the MCU, though.
I know, it seems pretty massive.
Yeah.
So here's what Feige had to say about Doctor Strange at the event. He said the Ancient One helps Stevens tap into the supernatural in the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of supernatural. That involves everything from quantum mechanics to string theory to parallel dimensions, which if you train to be the master of mystic arts, you can manipulate with your hands and your thoughts. So I think they're going to focus a lot on parallel dimensions because other quotes he said, like, they just love the idea of him tripping through like the Ditko sort of like plateaus and everything like that. So I think there's going to be a lot of parallel dimension stuff. And Into Shambhala is actually a really good possibility for that.
All right.
Based on what I've read about it, I'm sorry I've let everyone down.
It's all right, man.
I forgive you.
No, you don't.
No,
I hear it in your voice. You don't. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Maybe I will just find a copy for you.
Well, I would read the living heck out of it.
And then maybe I'll read it as my first thing I've ever read about Doctor Strange.
Oh,
so there we go.
can sit down and read it
I
together.
know.
Club.
Aw.
Into Shambhala.
One of our
Club.
monitors is a scroll.
What?
Like,
what happened?
Wow, it
Oh my
is.
gosh.
Yeah. It's all
You must be
Jarvis.
3D, man, because you saw right through it.
I did.
crazy.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see
Still
what
a
they're
lot
gonna
of nothing.
Yeah. Well,
No news.
There's no
know.
news.
There's
There's
I
no
can't
news.
believe we don't have any Doctor Strange news.
I know.
And
I
as
know.
early as it is, like compared to the other movies.
Well, I
like,
haven't refreshed my news feeds. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
talking.
take a
so
look.
I mean, there could be
They're-
something
they're-
that
they
happened.
probably have pictures of Adam Sandler dressed as Doctor Strange
yeah,
right now.
and they
Exactly.
just wrapped shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Adam Sandler, the new Doctor Strange. Here's a picture of him in costume.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here
Watch it.
first, everybody. Guardians of the Galaxy! May of 2017?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all we know.
Got moved up.
That's all we know.
Success.
It got moved up.
It's
But
great.
I will say
Sign me up.
we will probably meet Star-Lord's dad. And who do we think his dad is? I'm saying Starhawk.
Jason.
But they've already gone on the record saying that it's not going to be. It is Jason in the comics, but it's not going to be in the movie.
I just think that's the worst name.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Jason.
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 Jason! Press X to Jason!
I'm saying Starhawk. Other people say Adam Warlock, which is also a good
Starhawk, really?
That's interesting.
Yeah, Starhawk, man. I'm saying Starhawk.
All right, say it. I don't care.
That's what I said, but I'm asking you guys. Who do you think
his
his
dad is going to be an Inhuman.
Oh, interesting.
That's awesome.
I don't
Okay.
know
That makes the
which
most
one,
sense.
but
Okay.
I think his dad will be an Inhuman.
Yeah, I think his dad's going to be Corsair.
Oh, wow. They're stealing from
Yeah,
Scott.
so long as they
Yeah.
don't
Scott
say
Summers.
he's a mutant.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Because
that he
I
doesn't
don't
have
think
mutant,
Marvel
go through some of
owns the
that.
Starjammers, or
Right.
Marvel. I'm sorry, I don't think Fox owns the Starjammers. So
God, that would be
I
so
would love
awesome.
to see
Yeah.
the Starjammers
Oh my
on
God.
film.
I know.
To see Guardians team up with the Starjammers, I would
Yeah.
lose my mind.
That'd
I
be a
would lose
blast.
my mind.
I think Inhuman is a great call.
yeah, I think
You know what?
But
I
now-
wonder if
but
his
now I want
dad is
Corsair.
Marvel, and they're going to do like a Captain Marvel thing, and they're going to introduce Captain Marvel that way.
Whoa.
Because the only thing that they said about Guardians is we haven't seen a guy like this. We haven't seen this blood in this galaxy for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there's something about like Marvel.
maybe.
But what's
So-
Marvel
He was Kree,
so that, but then they have. Because
but
Ronan
maybe
was Kree.
but maybe they haven't seen the likes of Marvel in a long time.
I think that.
I'm just look.
that
She
knocks
said
it. I think
she
that-
said Inhuman. The Inhumans are made from Kree experimentation, like eons ago on
Yeah.
Earth, and it hit my brain. I was like, oh, that could actually maybe work for Captain Marvel, since that's the same way she got her powers
It's interesting.
from the Psyche Magnetron.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Yeah,
All right,
here we
nerd.
go.
All right. Well, this is the one I'm actually most excited about.
Thor Ragnarok. Sorry.
I know. I'm biting my new nails off. I'm so okay, guys. I love Thor. I love Thor so much, and they're doing the Ragnarok story, which is such a freaking awesome
Yeah,
storyline.
it's epic. It's epic. It's huge.
Yeah,
Briefly, what is it?
Okay, so basically,
go.
yeah, so Ragnarok is the event that brings about a world change, almost in line with what could possibly be the Doctor Strange, and Asgard. Basically, all of Asgard has to rise up, mainly Thor, to save the 9 realms, possibly 10 realms if they go that route, from.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Well, yeah, from Surtur, who is the king of
The king and exiled lord of the fire dimension, Muspelheim, I believe. Muspelheim.
I always say Mufflheim, who was locked away
love it.
by
Yeah,
Odin.
I love it.
Back in the day, and
With his two brothers
With his
who
two brothers,
died
yeah.
in Muspelheim, stealing the Twilight Sword and the Eternal Flame. Mm-hmm. And those are, I think we saw the Eternal Flame in the vault in the first Thor film.
Really?
Who wants to give me a high five for that one? Is it you?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
all right,
All right.
a little weak.
You guys are jerks. I'm excited about that. No, well, you're not a jerk. You're a
Thank
sweetheart.
you. You're a
You're a
jerk.
jerk. You're a jerk. You gave me a weak high five.
It's always the girl. Always
No,
the girl.
you gave me a weak
It's
high
always the
five.
girl.
You gave me a solid high five. That's
I'm a girl. I can't.
girls can
Girls
give
can.
awesome
I said, wait,
sci-fi.
Well, Schmoville.
There we
girls
go.
Can't give good high fives.
There we go. That was a
That's
good high five.
absurd.
That was
This
a good
is my
high
bad
five.
arm. This is the
I'm sorry.
my
I'm
bad
sorry.
one. But yeah, so I'm excited for Thor Ragnarok. I think it's gonna be a really good self-contained story because I feel not all these movies have to have these overarching tie-ins.
yeah.
And I think Ragnarok is a great place for Thor to continue because I feel Thor 2 of all the Marvel films, the one I like the least. I might actually go on record and say I hated Thor 2.
Whoa!
I really hated Thor 2. What?
Wow. I
Lack
didn't
of-
hate it.
Lack of Sif, promotion of Jane Foster in the role that I'd rather see Sif in. I just felt the writing was weak, and
But I heard
Malekith-
Sif can't give good high fives, so Marvel
Well,
is like, you
I
gotta get
know.
out of here.
That's exactly
I've
it.
heard that too. I've heard that too.
Malekith was such an uninteresting villain.
But you know what's interesting is that Malekith is the reason that Surtur is able to escape
Yes.
from Muspelheim, where Odin exiled him.
Yeah. So
And then he went and attacked Asgard.
what's wrong?
Tarvis,
What is your target?
help me.
Just listening to all, I'm getting a little lost, but yeah, sounds good.
We're trying our best to explain. Okay, I will make a flow chart because
Oh,
it's-
you're gonna. Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
'cause
That's
Yeah.
great.
It's not nerdy enough. Let's make a
like
flow
the first
chart.
Thor?
what?
Did you like the first Thor movie?
I love the first
More
Thor
than the
movie.
second,
Oh
really?
God, yeah.
Oh,
Well, the
wow.
first. Okay,
I
so
think
the
it was reversed for me. I
the
think I
first-
love the second one more.
I just didn't expect the first one to actually be good. I was like, oh, okay, a Thor movie, huh? And I'm like, oh no, that was good. So when you go in with absolutely no expectation,
So you
I
didn't
get
like
that.
Thor until the movies.
yes,
Were,
All right.
were you a big Thor fan before the movies?
I was never a big Thor fan until I read the Ultimates.
Oh.
And I was like, I
where,
really
where
dig
he
Thor.
where he works with Greenpeace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Which
just
I
kind
thought
of
was
like,
awesome.
Yeah, like I really love the way
Like,
he
wait,
he's
did
stands.
that actually happen? Or
Yeah,
No,
he's like
yeah.
a wacky
He's like a
environmentalist
whacked out environmentalist,
extremist.
yeah.
But then he's also like, I've been sent here to save mankind. and no one's getting in my way.
And no one believes him. They're like,
Yeah.
who's this wacky guy?
Yeah.
And then like he
and
calls
Loki
down the
goes
thunder.
a great
and
way to get that all discredited and make him,
Yeah.
it's again the Ultimates. If you guys haven't read the
legitimately
Ultimates,
good.
you should really read it.
At least the first 2 volumes.
And then they use his but Ultimates
And Ultimates 2.
1 and 2, and then Ultimates 2, 1 and 2
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Yeah.
And I recommend them. That's where I really started to love Thor, and then since then I've
One of my favorite just random
enjoyed it.
history on Thor is that Stan Lee created Thor because he wanted to create someone who was stronger than Hulk.
whoa.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And
Well,
that's why they're always fighting each other.
that's
Because
interesting.
he purposely created a god character to take on Hulk.
That's great.
Because he's
That's
like, that's
great.
the only person who could possibly be stronger than Hulk.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
so and that's all we know about the Thor 3. But
Right.
I'm excited. I
But
think
but they also
yeah.
went on. Feige also said that it's going to be world defining in the same way that Winter Soldier was.
Yeah, which
so
is
that's going to
gonna-
be the biggest thing, other than maybe Doctor Strange for Marvel.
Yeah.
Phase 3.
It'll be interesting to see what impacts it has. Which I think what'll end up is we're going to see Asgard no more and Asgard Reborn is what I think we'll see.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll see Asgard in line with the comics Reborn on Earth.
Yeah. Well,
Which is Straczynski's run
Yes.
with Coipel, who I love that
Yeah.
book.
It's a great run.
And that
Oh
also
my
again ties
God.
into things from Civil War, so it
Yeah.
should be fun. And then on November 3rd, 2017, we finally get Black Panther, and I'm so excited about this because okay, first off, I am just going to address the fact that this will be the first person of color lead superhero film, and this is a
Yeah.
huge step for equality in entertainment and
Equal
especially
representation.
it is
Absolutely.
and it's amazing, and the fact that they picked Chadwick Boseman is a phenomenal choice.
and he was
Oh,
he was so happy to be on that
he
stage.
was
He was
so- I
just like,
know.
I was like, I am already in love with this guy.
yeah.
Like, I can't wait to see him be T'Challa.
And to see the concept art they showed of the suit, it was
Oh, so good.
I know. It's like this, silicone fitted suit that looks like skin tight Kevlar. And, Black Panther is known for having like the teeth necklace, and
Yeah.
they've woven that in almost some sort of like, I don't know if it's like a weapon that he can use, but it's like part of the suit.
Yeah, I bet it's a weapon.
Yeah.
I bet it's like a vibranium, like kind of thing.
It's really great character design on Marvel's part, and I'm just super excited. And even reporter Brosnan told reporters after the event that the reaction from the fans has just simply been amazing, and he's excited to jump into this role. And
So
I
exciting.
know
Yeah.
that's
Can't-
what I
yeah.
love about the Marvel
Yeah.
family. They're like, they pick actors and they're like, we want to be a part of this. We want to do this.
Yeah, and I also can't wait to see Wakanda and how they show Wakanda. Like, what
Yes.
kind of technology? Like, we haven't had anything like that on screen. Like a city that advanced and like so advanced it can hide itself from the rest
Yeah,
of the world.
basically,
That's so
Wakanda
awesome.
is a modern day Atlantis.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be our generation's, and I'm excited. I'm super stoked.
And a lot of the other stuff about Black Panther that they said we've kind of already mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we know very little about other than Avengers 3 will be Infinity War Part 1.
Yeah.
They're breaking the storyline up into 2, which we've speculated, and that it is going to be
The Infinity War.
the Infinity War.
Which is, you just can't. I just can't.
It broke you.
It broke me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they showed that teaser and like they've got all those moments like showing all the Infinity Gems, and then like the camera wraps around and you start to see the gauntlet appear for the first time. Like, I legitimately did not know how to handle it. I thought I might either pass out or like astrally project somewhere else, because I just couldn't be in my body any longer.
So for you guys that don't know from the comics, the Infinity Gauntlet is that golden glove that holds all
Yeah.
the Infinity Gems and basically grants the bearer power over all creation.
He's basically God at that point.
Yeah, and he can do anything. He can do anything.
Yeah.
And so Thanos gets a hold of it, and people think that's a bad idea, because it is.
Yeah.
And they go out to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But what's interesting, the
Right.
underlying,
It's a good sonnet. That's a great sonnet. But and
guys,
it's
no,
every
hold-
single
yeah.
hero. It's every single hero.
But
Right.
that aside, it's actually a love story. The whole
is so
reason,
weird, 'cause
yeah, the
it's for
whole
death.
reason Thanos does this is that he's fallen in love with death, and he wants to prove his love to death by destroying all of creation. So at the end of the day, it's a romantic.
It's a rom-com.
It is.
It is.
Oh.
Later,
Okay, that's
later. Let's for
no,
later.
No,
No?
let's just do it
Okay.
now. Our question for next week. I was gonna make it. What is the best title for a Hulk rom-com?
But I feel
What is the best title for a Thanos death rom-com? That's the question for next week.
Wow.
And we may actually have prizes next week, so consider that.
Not may, we do.
We do. We
Yeah,
do
we
have
have
prizes
prizes.
next week for the one that we choose. So go on Facebook, hop on Twitter, hop on YouTube. We'll do our best to compile everything. Give us the best title for a Thanos death rom-com movie. Yeah! You have a question, Jatarvis?
Just back up the truck for a second here. What do you mean by he falls in love with death?
So
Are you talking like the Grim Reaper? Like is in
Well,
this?
Pretty much,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a woman. Death in the Marvel.
It's the embodiment
Yeah.
of death. And
The
she's-
physical manifestation of death is
The
she appears as
Avatar.
a
Like the same death that showed up in Scrooge and showed him.
Yeah.
No, that's the
Is this
ghost
like a
of
character
Christmas
called Death?
Future.
Okay, so is this a character called Death or is it?
No, it is
literally
actual.
Death?
It is literally death
Oh, that's, like,
personified
really-
into a human.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's out there.
at the
It's
end
the force of death.
Yeah, at the end of Avengers, when you see the sting with Thanos, and the bad guy says, "To fight them is to court death," and then like Thanos turns around,
I
boom.
gotcha. So
Yeah.
boom,
it's not just death in general. He's actually.
he's
He's
in
in
love
love.
with a female named Death.
I'm
Yeah,
really
char-
curious to see how they portray that in the film.
I know.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's such a crazy idea.
yeah, and Joss actually right after that came out, I remember reading interviews with him. Where he said one of the things he loves the most about Thanos is that very thing.
Yeah.
Like he loves that he's in love with death. He thinks that's like awesome and kind of strangely
Yeah.
cute.
And I think it lends such a dynamic to this character that, for all intents and purpose, is a bad guy, is an evil person, but he's doing something out of selfish.
People do
but,
crazy
Yeah.
things
yeah,
for love.
Yeah.
Like wipe out half of all of existence.
And
in
that's
a
what happens
wink.
in Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
He actually wipes out all of
Yeah.
exist, like half of the universe.
Yeah. So
And you're like walking down the street, and all of a sudden people go, "Shoo," and they're just gone
Yeah.
forever.
They're just
and
gone.
they've never existed. He's taken them off the map.
Yeah, they don't exist any longer.
Yeah.
And then the Avengers and the X-Men.
Those that are left.
By the way, my favorite X-Men, or just death in general, Infinity Gauntlet, is Thanos makes a clear cube appear around Cyclops' head and he shoots himself.
Yep.
yes.
Do you have more
Gigi?
questions, Jotarvis? You just wanted to... I said
That was
Cyclops?
for Cyclops.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So
I think that's like issue 5 or 6 or something like that,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he shoots himself in the head with a box that Thanos
Yeah.
puts around
Yeah.
his face. It's so good.
It is. Well, and that it's going to be interesting to see what starts in Infinity War because we have two films filling in the spots between between first and second, and that'll be the first one that we get is July 6, 2018, which is Captain Marvel, and not Marvel, not some dude. Feige confirmed at the event that this is going to be Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
And not Monica Rambeau, who other people have been like, what if it's Monica Rambeau?
no,
he
straight
said Carol,
he
Carol
said
Danvers.
he said Danvers. And
He also said the key thing. So it took him a while to write the script, but the problem was the key thing was figuring out how to do what we really wanted to do, which was introduce one of, if not the most powerful hero into the entire MCU.
yeah, when you think about her power set, she really kind of does it all. She's a
Yeah.
bit of a god mod character, meaning
Yeah.
that she's got super strength, she has flight, she's the only thing she doesn't really have is telepathy
Yeah.
or telekinesis, but she is basically the Superman of the Marvel
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
And I think
She can shoot photonic
Yeah.
blasts from her hands, and
because
Super strong, she
Captain
can
America's
fly, yeah.
got the strength, but he doesn't have any of those.
she can exist in the vacuum of space.
Yeah. And I think it's awesome. I mean, so many fans have been wanting this Captain Marvel film, which I do need to go on a little rant here because people are still saying like, oh, they're not doing Miss Marvel, and I'm like, no, Captain Marvel is Carol Danvers, and then
She is Miss
Yeah,
Marvel.
she is.
Yeah.
But some people are still like, well, we wanted Miss Marvel first, and I'm like, honestly, for me, and this is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get like weird feminist. I know. But I'd rather it be, to me, as a woman, I'd rather it be Captain Marvel because it's the more stronger, fully realized, like, we don't need Miss this or
But
Mr.
she is
that.
Captain Marvel.
She is,
She
yeah.
is.
She was
Yeah.
so I'm really excited. I don't know who they're going to cast, and that's going to be, we'll be speculating that for a year or two
The
to
next
come.
2 years.
Yeah.
By the way, we've had a couple people in the Schmoville ask us who we think would be good choices. Among them, obviously, Katie Sackhoff.
Of course.
We would love to see Katie
Yes.
Sackhoff get that part.
But barring that,
But barring that, Emily Blunt's also been thrown out there. Natalie Dormer from Game of
Yeah.
Thrones, I think, would be good.
One of the early names attached to it was Ruth Wilson, who
I don't know. Who's Ruth Wilson?
She plays opposite of Idris Elba in Luther, which is the
I've never seen that.
She's a
great.
phenomenal
Is it good?
actress.
I've heard it's
yeah.
good.
You need to watch it.
Yeah, and she's phenomenal. Though to be honest, and now I know I'll never get this. Ruth Wilson is my ultimate fan casting for Scarlet Witch. Though
Really?
she's got the red hair and
I
she's
should
got
go
this
watch
like
Luther tonight.
little upturned lip,
You really
and she's
should.
just a bit
Yeah?
crazy. Yeah, but she's a phenomenal actress. She
She's
was
great.
also in that that Lone Ranger. I always forget that she was in Lone
I
Ranger
didn't
with
see
Johnny
it.
Depp.
Most people have forgot that movie
Yeah, I
even
know.
exists.
I watched it because of her because I really she's such a dynamic woman, and to see her on screen, I don't know how I feel about her as Captain Marvel, but I just like to see her involved in the MCU in some capacity.
Jatarvis, go ahead.
Can you guys talk a little about what the difference is between Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel? Because I have no idea.
The difference is literally just name.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's the same person.
I mean,
It's the exact same person.
so-
okay. I thought they were two different people.
No, when in the 60s when Miss Marvel came about, she got her powers from a dying Kree entity who was Captain
Well, she was fighting in a cavern with a bad guy whose name I can't remember.
I'm trying to
and
simplify it, okay?
look, she got her powers from the malfunctioning psychic magnetron, which was a Kree device that transforms imagination into reality.
Okay, so basically, but she was named Miss Marvel at the
you not
time
know
because
that?
there was
didn't
already
know
a
that.
Captain Marvel, and then they, and at
that-
the
Marvel,
time,
right?
Yeah,
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
And at the time, you kind of did that in comics with women. There was like
Yeah.
Lady Thor, Miss Marvel, Supergirl, like that's just
Yeah.
how it was.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk,
exactly.
So, a couple years ago when they rebooted the title, she ends up inheriting the actual Captain Marvel name due to the...
Well, no, it's Captain America telling her to take the name.
Yeah, to take
and
the name.
I think that's Captain Marvel 1, right?
Yeah.
With Kelly Sue DeConnick,
Yeah,
right?
and
he's
so
like,
she actually
just take the name. Just
she
take the
wrestles
name.
with the idea of taking on someone else's given name.
Yeah.
And, and it's a really great storyline, and what it really does, in terms of comics and women, it really kind of shows that there's this gender gap. We don't need the misses, the she's, that we can
And
just
what's funny
be.
is that she's actually a colonel, so
Yeah.
she should be Colonel Marvel.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Just doesn't sound as good. She's a colonel in the USAF.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She's a fighter pilot.
But yeah, so it's just a
Seems like a waste of a
semantics.
plane,
Well, when you can fly, yeah.
right?
Oh my god, you guys. But yeah, so
It's like
that's
Wonder Woman
all
having
it
an
is.
invisible jet.
Yeah.
What? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
How ridiculous did she look?
We're gonna make you slower and less
right.
effective by giving you a state-of-the-art jet. It doesn't make any sense.
No sense at all.
Well, she has her identity to maintain.
All right, so that's Captain Marvel. We'll be talking more about her, I'm sure.
Forever.
Forever. Inhumans in November of 2018.
Oh
which,
my goodness.
Do you want to take this and run?
No, I just think it's
No,
crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy too. That's why I'm offering it to you.
It's awesome.
I've been
It's
talking
the
a lot.
Craziest
Okay, all right.
bunch of
okay. I'm giving us we're at our hour mark. I'm giving us 7 more minutes since we get to go a
Jatarvis,
little
can
bit
we
long.
have 7 more minutes?
Can we? Okay.
Great.
Thumbs up.
You're
All
getting
right.
you're getting an extra long episode
So-
today,
Great.
everybody.
Inhumans live on the dark side of the moon in Atalan, and
Yeah.
they are the craziest bunch of superpowered individuals I think anywhere in the Marvel universe.
I dare say that it's wackier than in, like anything that even DC has.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's just what they're like. It's wacky.
Yeah, and it's
no-
awesome. And they live in this hidden world, basically, on the dark side of the moon, and they are all individually superpowered and crazy
Creations.
looking. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're creations. Matt said earlier they were resulted from genetic experimentation that the Kree did on Earth so long ago, and then they just have been living on the moon in their own sovereign kingdom for a really long time. But they're just crazy looking characters.
Yeah,
insane.
when you think about mutants, these are the characters I think of. Like, you got that most of the X-Men for the most part.
Like
are
relatively normal.
Yeah, relatively
I mean,
normal.
Nightcrawler, Angel, maybe.
Iceman, well, even
There's
he can
Eye
take...
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a lot. There's
Yeah.
there's a
But-
lot of crazy.
but the
movies.
Inhumans have-
Herman Globhuman or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just like a weird like gel. Yeah.
But the Inhumans have always just been like that extra shade of like, even Medusa, who's a gorgeous character, her hair is just everywhere. It doesn't stop.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see
living
Medusa.
hair.
Crystal is the only
On.
normal looking.
Yeah.
Well, even Black Bolt's normal looking.
But-
I mean,
But he can't
he
speak.
wears
He
a
can't
mask, but
speak.
he can't. By the way, Black Bolt is probably one of my top 5 characters.
And by
Really?
the way,
I legitimately love.
Yeah.
Like he's so like.
You got a weird list of
well,
characters.
hold on, one second. Before we go any further, the names we're throwing out: Black Bolt, Crystal, Medusa, and K, the guy Karnak. They're the core group of the Inhumans, so they kind of make up
Karnak.
most of the stories surrounding them.
Karnak has like
we
the
talked
most,
about Karnak before.
Yeah, we
have we?
Yeah.
The most underestimated power of all
Yeah,
time.
he can see any weakness.
Yeah. You hear that, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, until he like
Sees your weakness.
He seamlessly beats your behind.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's cool. I can't wait to see what that thing looks like.
That's going to be wet. And by the way, a lot of people are asking if this is going to be Marvel's answer to the not having the X-Men rights. Absolutely, it is.
This
Absolutely,
is what we get. These are our mutants.
Yeah. In fact,
family.
let me throw this out there. If you're not reading it, start reading Inhumanity, because this is where the MCU is picking up. Like this is where they're changing the Inhumans into their X-Men.
Nice.
Wow.
Is in this comic book title, and it's written by like superstar writer Charles Soule. It's great. It's absolutely great. So read it.
Awesome.
But yeah, Inhuman. We'll talk a lot more about Inhumans.
Yeah, I mean, we're like 3 years away now, so we're gonna start.
Yeah. But then Avengers 3: Infinity War Part 2. This is the coolest news about that. Is that will be the follow-up to Part 1.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. And stuff that starts in Part 1, rumor has it, will be wrapped up in Part 2.
How are they?
It's crazy.
How are they gonna do that?
Let's see you top that, DC. That's going to bug the one DC guy that watches the show.
Yeah. Matt Cook has thrown down the Infinity Gauntlet.
The one thing though that the Infinity Wars Part 2 is what's going to really change the MCU as we know it. Like, I mean, they've already come out and said what happens in this. Things are never going to be like, we're going to have new. I mean, by this point, all of our known actors are going to be aged so much. We're going to have to start.
And I think that Inhumans is placed where it is for a reason. I think that Inhumans will be the start of Phase 4. Like a lot of this, like I think they'll gauge the success of it if people are still interested in superhero films, this and that. If something as weird and wacky as the Inhumans can be pulled off and be successful in the way the Guardians was, like that's gonna kickstart Phase 4. And if it's not successful, then I think they're gonna have to re-examine what they're doing for Phase 4.
Exactly. All right, and that's the big Marvel slate.
That's a gigantic Marvel slate.
It was a long show, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us. But I know everyone wanted to know our opinions, and we had a lot of them. Do we have time for anything? Let's
just blow through it. I want to say Marvel's putting out all of these teaser images for summer 2015 in the comic book world. Yeah, and they just keep putting up just single images of different titles of a lot of different arcs that have been from years ago or recently or whatever, but they're throwing out a lot of weird
AVX
images.
Civil War.
And they just put up this morning X-Men 92.
Oh my God.
Which makes me really excited.
So good.
Because I mean, this is the stuff that the X-Men cartoon is based off of, specifically.
Yeah, and even in that image, Jubilee is in the front with her like glasses up, blowing a bubble.
Yeah.
Which we can get. We don't need to worry about that part of it so much. But the rest of it, it's like the team, and Professor X is in his giant yellow mobile lazy boy.
Yeah, his
like
Jim Lee hover chair.
But they've been doing a lot of really cool things, and I don't know what it means. Meredith does. But my point that I wanted to bring it up for was Marvel knows exactly who their audience is. And they know how to make people excited, and it makes me feel like they love us as much as we love them. And I think that's awesome. I love to see a massive company taking care of the people that make it what it is and making people excited, and I think that's so cool. And I love it. I love all the plans they have in motion.
I love it. I love it. And you
you
have something on that, right?
Yeah. So what all this is, according to my source, is that it's all going to tie into Secret Wars,
it's going to be like a use kind of stuff.
It's going to be a lot of alternate universe, alternate reality storylines that these have existed outside of Marvel 616, which is the main continuity that we're going to see coming into play for when they bring in the new Secret Wars. So it's pretty exciting if you're an old school fan of the whole title, to kind of see these characters brought back and reimagined, from different time periods, and how they're all going to have to interact with each other, knowing their limited scope of what they know from their world.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I'm excited. I'm very excited for all that stuff too.
What do you got book-wise?
So my Matt's Minute. Do this real quick. I did mostly Marvel stuff, but I do have one Image thing I want to talk about. If you're not reading Saga,
You're a jerk.
Yeah, please
you
read
are
it.
so missing out. This particular issue, have you read this?
I haven't read it yet, so don't say anything about it.
Well, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but this particular issue is one of the best comics in the entire run.
That's what I've heard.
It like
Wow, don't even open it.
I haven't want to have sex with
What?
a comic in a long time.
What?
And I wanted to have sex with this comic, but I couldn't figure it out. Biggest surprise of the week
All the
was
more reason to get your own, guys.
yeah. Death of Wolverine with Deadpool and Captain America. Biggest surprise was I legitimately fell in love with this comic. It was
That's
legitimately
awesome.
good. I'm not a don't hate me, but I'm not a giant Deadpool fan. But well, some of the fans are big fans. I don't want them
You
to
have
hate
10
me because I'm
seconds.
not. But I love that. All New X-Men, if you're not reading this, Bendis' run, it's great. They're now in the Marvel 1210 universe, which is the Ultimates. And that's it. I'm
That's
done.
it.
That's
You're
it.
done.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Boom.
Good.
Those are my Marvel picks and one not Marvel pick. That's it.
Last week we actually asked which Z-list character would you like to see Nightcrawler
Oh,
and
yeah.
Spider-Man team up and take on? We got some great answers. Blake Battersby said Spider-Man and Nightcrawler versus The Spot.
The Spot,
That's awesome.
which is great. The last time we saw him was in Wade's Daredevil, right? Yeah.
And it was great.
Ronald Hollick said Spider-Man Nightcrawler versus the Nasty Boys with Mr. Sinister.
Right?
That's
How
great.
great is that?
That's great.
The Nasty Boys. I haven't heard that name in forever.
Are they a band?
Well, they are now.
Okay.
They are now.
Dan Skip Allen said Arcade is the best villain to take on the duo Spider-Man and Nightcrawler, and I agree that would be actually awesome.
Me
That would
too.
be pretty good.
That's the one I want to see.
And then, yeah, so those were our top three. And just guys, remember next week our question, and this will be for a prize. We promise it is a pretty cool prize that we want to know. Thanos and Death rom-com. What would you title that?
What is the best title
Yeah.
for a Thanos and Death rom-com?
Yeah. And I don't want to, I'm going to spoil it. The prize is Matt Key will let you take him to lunch and he'll explain Doctor Strange
Yeah.
to you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Everything that he's read.
Yeah.
But you got to pay.
Jerk. You've got to pay.
Yeah.
I'm an expensive
And
date.
pick him up.
Yeah, I don't have a car.
No.
You've got to fly out to Los Angeles, pick
Yeah.
me up, or fly me to your hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be careful how good your
Yeah, your answers
submission
are.
is.
All right, and before we leave this extended episode, let's just go over next week's speculations. What do you want to hear from the movie world?
I want to hear from the movie world who Doctor Strange is.
Okay.
Same. I just want to get that done.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yes.
at a place now where I'm like, just
Yeah, just
please,
give it-
just please.
I want next week. I'm gonna say I want an Ant-Man trailer.
Oh, that would be great.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Well, that's it. So thank you for listening to this extra long 70-minute extended
Yes,
episode.
yes.
Please don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes. It helps keep us coming back to you. Also, don't forget to go to subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/schmoesknowpodcast. Find us there. Comment, love us, rate us. I don't think you can rate us on YouTube, but
No, you
whatever.
can like
but
us. You can do a little thumbs up
yeah,
for
thumbs
us.
up us,
Yeah.
thumbs up us. Watch us there, and visit us on Facebook. Marvel News for Marvel fans at Marvel Schmoes on Twitter.
And if you want to talk to us individually, you can find me on Twitter at mplaco.
I'm at the Matt Key.
At Matt Cook tweeted.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, Schmoville.
Bye.
From producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes Know Network crew, we would like to thank you for listening to Marvel News from Marvel fans. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness in stores now, as well as the entire AfterBuzz TV network crew. To watch or listen to other Schmoes episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesknow.com and subscribe, rate, and review to this show on iTunes. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes Know